What's going on YouTube? It's Bandwagonbam here reacting to the Battle for Brixton, Siraq versus 150. I remember when I first discovered Siraq. This was like Young Bush times and J Gang times. I can't remember what year that was. I think that was like 2013 or something. 2012, something like that. I don't know. Years ago though. And yeah, man. We're going to run this one up. This was uploaded by ukdrillplug, so make sure you go check out his channel. It'll be in the description below, and yeah.
I have been discussing UK drill beefs around South London. This mostly due to South London having some of the most dangerous gangs in and around London, with the likes of 6, 7 and 150 having notorious beef, LTH and UTH also having a deadly beef, which is another rivalry I made a video on, and recently Siraq and 150, which hasn't really been talked about. However, the beef between these two street gangs has become very violent in recent years, resulting in multiple people being stabbed and shot, and over 3 people being killed, all within a year. Now, this gang beef is based in South London, particularly the London borough of Lambeth, which has even been ranked within the top 10 most dangerous boroughs within London. Lambeth's crime rate is around 132 crimes per 1,000 people.
Do you know my monitor turned off, so hopefully it's fine.
Which is surprisingly high considering the population of Lambeth is around 328,000. Lambeth is also home to over 10 gangs that often fight over territory and drugs.
When I said 10 gangs is just Lambeth, you know, that is insane.
Around the area. Some of these gangs include 6-7, Harlem Spartans, LTH, and 410. Now, 150 is a large street gang based around the Angeltown estate. However, they also have territory in the neighboring Loughborough estate. The 150 gang has also gone by GBG in recent years, which stands for Get Back Gang. The Angeltown area has seen many gangs on the estate, with decades of history and rivalry occurring in and around this area. One of the first gangs based on the Angeltown estate would be referred to as 28s. The membership of this gang wasn't only based around the Angeltown estate, but instead the entirety of Lambeth, which included
like them one was old school.
Brixton, Clapham, Tulse Hill, and Stockwell. This gang was active during the late 1980s and early 1990s. However, in the mid-1990s, a new crew would be formed. This gang would be referred to as PDC, or Peel Dem Crew. The youths that made this gang would mostly rep the young generation of 28s before PDC was created. Now, around the early 2000s, the PDC gang would get close with other gangs in the area. They would also start to go by gas, as they had become aligned with other gangs in the area, creating the Alliance Gas Gang. The gangs included OC from Myatt's Field, which has become known today as 410. Another gang was MZ, or Murder Zone, which has come to beef 150 and is well known nowadays as Siraq, which is the beef I'll be discussing today. In recent years, the original gas gang name would die out, with 150 being the new generation of youngers, with this set being a direct relation to Gas Gang.
I think when Gas Gang got big, in my eyes, well, I found about Gas Gang heavily through Sneakbo,
with them sharing the same rivals and affiliates as they did years prior. Popular members of 150 include M24, Styx, and M Dard. However, we can't talk about 150 without talking about their main opposition. Siraq is a small street gang based around the Moorlands estate and the Southwick house. This gang is based around the Somerleyton estate within Brixton, SW9. The Siraq gang also goes by Siru and Rak. This gang would be a younger generation to an older gang referred to as MZ, or Murder Zone. MZ was originally a part of the Gas Alliance, being allied with nearby 150 in the mid-2000s. However, following the breakdown of Gas Gang, MZ would become a more tight-knit gang, and would start to go by Siru or Siraq around the early 2010s. This generation of Siraq would cut all affiliation with surrounding gangs, and only have a loose affiliation with Harlem Spartans in Kennington. Siraq has become known to hold their own beefing over 10 surrounding gangs in the Brixton area. Siraq have
they got bare ops, what the hell? They need some friends. What the hell? There's so much ops for them, man.
Beef with 150, 6, 7, and LTH. Notable members of Siraq include SR, Trap SG, and Doubleback. However, you may be...
So wait, okay, so ukdrillplug, you're doing the new school generation then? Like, you're not doing like the old school, like the 2010s, as I said.
Asking why both 150 and Siraq have a deadly rivalry with each other. Now, during the times that Gas Gang was most prominent, MZ or Siraq and 150 would actually be affiliated, with them sharing the same beef and being allied. However, it would be around 2011 that MZ would lose a prominent member, this being a member referred to as Josie. He would sadly pass away as a result of a car crash. This would affect Brixton gang members, as Josie was actually a loved member of MZ, with him even being close to popular 150 member Sneakbo. This death would affect Siraq members especially especially, as Josie was actually very prominent around the Somerleyton estate. Around 2 years after the death of Josie, members of Gas Gang and members of Siraq would spot a group of rivals within a hospital. A fight would break out between the gangs. With this fight...
Oh, that was a legendary hat. Oh my days, what was this hat called? Oh, you ain't gonna know. You might not too young to know about this hat. Damn. Oh...
it getting violent when knives would be produced. Police would arrive at the scene moments later and would arrest a member of Siraq known as 5 Star. They would also arrest Sneakbo from 150 or Gas Gang, who would go on to allegedly snitch on the other Siraq members involved. 5 Star would go on to mock Sneakbo for snitching, with him even posting the court papers on Twitter saying, "At Sneakbo, why you doing this? I thought we were boys, but I guess you with the pigs. SMH, you fuck snitch." Following this incident, 150 would be created hailing from the original Gas Gang. Due to the split in Brixton, gangs had to choose who they would back in the beef, with a lot of nearby gangs backing 150 and beefing gangs like Siraq, resulting in Siraq basically being an EBK set, beefing nearly every gang in Brixton. The Siraq gang would also start going by 727 around the mid-2010s, as 727 spelt on a trap phone actually spells out the word rack. Now, in August 2015, a member of Siraq known as Fox would be on the lurk for ops. Armed with a knife, he would spot a group of 150 members at a house party within Brixton. One of these members was known as J Munna. He would rep the CMG gang in Loughborough. The CMG gang is actually a subset under the 150 gang, with it often being said to be the exact same gang. Anyways, a fight would ensue between the members. Fox would pull up in a car and would run J Munna over, crushing his skull. Sadly, J Munna would be pronounced dead on the scene, with police discovering him moments later. Following this, a murder investigation would be launched. Fox would quickly be arrested and would originally be charged with murder. However, this charge would be—
Wait, he's a big man. Mama's a big man. This first guy looks like a big man. What the hell? That is crazy. This J Munna guy was young.
Would be launched. Fox would quickly be arrested and would originally be charged with murder. However, this charge would be dropped and he would be charged with manslaughter. He would later be found guilty and sentenced for the murder. Rest in peace, J Munna. Following the death of J Munna, it would be around 2016 and 17 that the gang 150 would become very prominent within the UK drill scene, with them having a deadly rivalry with nearby Harlem Spartans and 6-7. Around this time, shooting—
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, you just had to be there these times, bro. You just had to be there. You had to be there tonight.
And stabbings would be very common between the gangs, with a member of Siraq named SR even being arrested after he recorded and posted himself dancing with a shotgun on social media. I'm
not gonna lie, yeah, the first day man bought this guy, you could just tell he was tat, bro. Like, he was just tat. I think this is like 2015. How old was I then? 16. Yeah. SR's been a tat man from early.
Arrested following this, and would be sentenced to 4.5 years for being in possession of a sawn-off shotgun. Whilst many incidents happened between 150 and Siraq in the early days, a lot of them are unknown. However, what is known is that on the 8th of July 2016, SR or Stabber would actually be shot in the head by alleged 150 members. He would be rushed to hospital following the shooting, and despite his wounds, Stabber would make a recovery in hospital. Around July 2018, a member of Harlem Spartans, known as Lats, would attempt to ride onto opposition territory with a Moscow 17 member. However, the ride would turn left when Lats would attempt to shoot at 150 members, and the gun would jam. The 150 member would then jump at him, stabbing Lats multiple times. With Lats being pushed off the back of the moped following the stabbing, Lats would sadly be pronounced dead moments later, with a murder investigation being launched. This saw the arrest of a 150 member who would later be released due to him acting in self-defense, as Lats tried shooting first. Following the death of Lats, members of Siraq and Harlem Spartans would be mourning his loss, especially with a member of Siraq known as R1 even being cousins with Lats. This meaning that the death of Lats would affect him in a big way. R1 would seek retaliation following the death of his cousin, and would often ride out looking for opposition. And on the 21st of February 2019, an alleged affiliate of 150 known as Thumps would sadly fall victim to the streets, and R1 would find himself behind bars facing life in prison. On the 21st of February 2019, members of Siraq would be armed and looking for ops. This included a member of Siraq—
You know, it's mad, yeah, because like deep it. From growing up, all of Brixton was one more or less, yeah. And now it's broken up into so much individual sets within its own. It's crazy. It's just that there was no like prominent leader. If there was a prominent leader, then everyone would be one. Literally, because like it's hard to run England, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to run England, but it's harder to run England when they're scattered into bugs, bro. Like, It's very, very tough.
Known as R1. R1 would notice Thumps, who was a 150 or Cassava member. Thumps was standing near Lipton Youth Center within Brixton. Thumps would see R1. He would then begin to run into the main room of the Lipton Youth Center in an attempt to escape R1. However, whilst Thumps was running, he would trip and fall to the ground. Thumps would manage to get up and would run a few more feet before falling to the ground once again. R1 would catch up and would stab Thumps multiple times in the thigh. Following this attack, R1 would flee the scene, with police and paramedics arriving moments later. However, despite the attempts of medical professionals, Thumps would sadly be pronounced dead moments later as a result of blood loss caused by the stab wounds to his thigh, with a murder investigation being launched following this. This investigation would see the arrest of R1, who repped the Siraq gang. R1 would be charged with the murder and would be found guilty. He would be sentenced to life with a minimum of 18 years in prison. Rest in peace, Thumps.
I don't get it. Like, how come in England, like, the jail sentences are weird? Like, some people can get 18 years, some people can get 32 years. Like, but it's still one charge. What is the difference between getting 18 years versus getting 32 years?
Following the death of Thumps, members of Siraq would begin to get active within the UK drill scene. This included a young member known as SR, previously Stabber. SR would drop a UK drill anthem titled Brucky in 2020. This was dropped following his release from prison for the gun charge he caught in 2018. This song would gain a lot of attention and currently sits on around 5.2 million views.
Crazy.
However, despite Siraq starting to gain major attention, the beef was still continuing within the streets. It would be around this time that shootings and stabbings would become very common in the streets. An example of this would be when Siraq members would shoot at 150 and 410 members, with it being alleged that the members would flee.
Deep it. They said 2020, all of this got heated, yeah. But that is COVID times. Everyone should have been inside their house.
Leaving each other. This incident is often referenced within Siraq songs. Anyways, Siraq and 150 would be very consistent within the UK drill within Siraq songs. Siraq and 150 would be very consistent within the UK drill scene in 2020 and 2021, with rappers like M24 blowing up after dropping his hit song We Don't Dance, which gained loads of attention in 2019 and 2020, with the song currently sitting on around 43 million views. Siraq would also be gaining underground attention within the scene, with SR really putting on for the gang, dropping a song titled Ring in July 2020, with this song gaining around 1 million views, although it would be around 3 months later that SR would drop one of the biggest UK drill songs till date, this being Welcome to Brixton, which would peak 93rd.
That's 211 million views. Well, streams, that is crazy.
In the official singles charts, this song would gain a
massive
amount of attention on TikTok, with the song sitting on around 74 million views and around 211 million Spotify streams, gaining a new level of success. However, all of this attention on the Siraq collective and SR wouldn't.
He's sitting on mills by just that one song. A couple mills by that one song.
Change the fact that there was an active war going on in the streets of Brixton, and it would be around this same time that 3 Siraq members would catch and stab a CMG 150 member multiple times. Emergency services would arrive at the scene of the stabbing, with the CMG member being taken to hospital and being released only days later. All of this violence between 150 and Siraq would mean that anyone could become victim to the streets, and this would be proven in 2021 when a loved member of 150 would be shot and killed while standing with 2 girls, one being his sister. On the 13th of September 2021, alleged members of the Siraq gang and alleged members of Harlem Spartans would travel around Brixton in search of rivals. They would spot a loved member of 150, known as Bally, who would be standing with 2 girls. The members would decamp the car and shoot multiple times toward Bally. The 2 girls he would be standing with would be hit by the oncoming bullets. Bally would also be hit. However, his wounds would prove to be deadly, as he would be pronounced dead moments later. Police and emergency services would be called to the scene. The 2 girls would also be taken to hospital and would be released days later after they were treated for the wounds. One of these girls would be Bally's sister. Luckily, both girls would survive. However, the shooting of Bally's sister is these girls would be Bally's sister. Luckily, both girls would survive. However, the shooting of Bally's sister is often rapped about by Siraq members. An example of this would be when a Siraq member known as Trap SG would rap on a song titled Freestyle, rapping, "We got the brother and the sister, like Ferb and Candace. You men would have thought we planned this." Following the shooting of Bally, a murder investigation would be launched. This saw the arrests of prominent Harlem Spartans members and Siraq members a day after the murder. However, these members would be released due to a lack of evidence, with the murder of Bally being unsolved till this day. Rest in peace, Bally. Now, following the death of Bally, members of 150 and Siraq would continue to diss each other within the music scene, with other gangs getting involved in the war. An example of this was a gang from Tulse Hill known as LTH. LTH would get involved when members would ride out onto onto Siraq territory and would shoot a Siraq member in the head. This incident is often referenced in bars, with Siraq members also starting to deny the incident, with Trap SG even dropping a song titled Freestyle where he would rap, "They didn't headshot Snow, we done do road way worse when we pulled up in Leighton." Other incidents would take place around 2021 and 2022, with a member of 6'7" even being robbed and beaten up by Harlem Spartan and Siraq members, which is crazy as some Harlem Spartan members are still cool with some 6'7" members. Anyways, the beef between Siraq and 150 would continue, with members often—
Bro, that beef is frying, fam. Frying.
clashing in Brixton. However, it wouldn't be until 2023 when the beef would explode once again, with 3 people losing their life in a 1-month time period, with these incidents turning South London into a war zone. The first incident would take place on the 4th of September 2023. On the 4th of September 2023, a member of 150 known as Skengroy would be walking down Morrison Road within Angeltown. However, what Skengroy wasn't aware of was the fact that alleged Siraq members would be lurking around Angeltown looking to catch any rival. The 2 alleged Siraq members would spot Skengroy and would begin to chase him. Skengroy was chased down Morrison Road. However, despite the attempts Skengroy made to flee, he would be caught by the members and would be stabbed multiple times. Following this attack, the 2 attackers would flee, leaving Skengroy to die. Skengroy would make an attempt to get home. However, he would collapse only moments later in his mum and sister's arms. Skengroy would be pronounced dead on the scene moments later, with police and emergency services also arriving on the scene. Following the stabbing of Skengroy, a murder investigation would be launched. This investigation hasn't seen any arrests, with police even making a call to the public for any information. With them—
I don't get it, bro. And niggas don't get bagged for murders, yeah. But if I just steal sweets from the shop or Harry Boys from the shop, yeah, I'm getting arrested. That is crazy. Or like, if I get a parking ticket and I don't pay my ticket, police fine me, clamp my car or something dumb.
posting a CCTV video showing the alleged attackers fleeing from the crime scene moments
They didn't even look
later,
like they're
whilst
running
many
for
people
us.
speculate that Siraq members killed Skengroy until someone has been charged for the murder and found guilty. I guess—
How did they get that? How did they get that so clear?
Speculate that Siraq members killed Skengroy until someone has been charged for the murder and found guilty. I guess we will never know. Rest in peace, Skengroy. Following the death of Skengroy, people that repped 150 and allied gangs would begin to pay their respects to the fallen member on social media. However, people would also be dissing loads, with people even starting to tell M24 to get back for Skengroy, which is crazy. M24 would actually respond to these people, quoting his own lyrics, stating, "They hating on me or they're dissing? That not my slime? About I ain't try get back for my lil homie? They must have lost their mind." And it would be only days later that 150 would get their get back, resulting in another member involved in the beef losing their life. On the 3rd of October 2023, under a month after the death of Skengroy, an alleged affiliate of Siraq known as KK or Smalls would be standing on Cold Harbor Lane within Brixton at around 5 p.m. Alleged 150 members would pull up and would start to attack KK. The attackers would stab KK multiple times in front of shoppers. The attackers would flee following this stabbing, leaving KK to die on the scene. Paramedics would arrive on the scene and would attempt to save KK. However, despite their best attempts, he would sadly be pronounced dead only moments later. Rest in peace, KK or Smalls. Following the death of KK, members of Siraq would actually go quiet for a few days, with nothing being posted by any members. However, around 5 days following the death of KK, a member of Siraq known as Trap SG and another named Dottie would actually start to grieve the loss of KK on social media. The Siraq members would also start claiming that KK wasn't a Siraq member, but was affiliated, with Trap SG posting a photo at KK's memorial with the caption, "Bro coulda chose this life but chose not. Rest easy, my boy." Whilst it's not known if KK was actually involved with the Siraq gang, what is known is that KK would often be—
Hey, listen, you know what makes somebody a member? Do they have to get down ops, or can they just be not everybody who everyone's around is a banger. Like, some people can be cool guys, and when it's time to jump in the ride, they're like, "Guys, I'm going home to play Xbox. I'm going home to play PlayStation." That don't mean that guy should die. Like, he ain't giving no drops. I'm not saying that's this guy is. I don't know if he was or was not, but I'm just saying, like if the guy's giving no drops and when it's time to glide, you're not seeing his face, and like, he literally just going home to play PlayStation, but they're his friends. Like, they could be his friends from primary school type of thing. And like, the bros can get involved in that, bro. And then it's just like, the good guy dies type thing, because like, as you can see, and from them lot said they could have chosen the life and he didn't choose the life, bro. So it's mad.
Whilst it's not known if KK was actually involved with the Siraq gang, what is known is that KK would often be seen in group photos with the gang. It would also be around this time that a 16-year-old would be stabbed multiple times in Brixton.
Well, pictures don't mean he's involved either. They're your friends. Of course you're gonna have pictures of your friends. I got pictures with some niggas. That don't mean I'm involved in their beef. And like example, if I was to get touched, they ain't gonna back the beef. So what's the point of touching the man? Don't make no sense.
This was thought to have been an act of retaliation, with this just showing how dangerous the beef was getting between both of these sides. It would actually be 2 days after the death of KK that a member of 37, closely allied with 150, would be shot dead. However, this incident was thought to have been due to in-house beef within the 37 gang. 2 decent paramedics would arrive shortly after the attack and would attempt to save Reeks. However, despite their best attempts, Reeks would sadly be pronounced dead moments later, with a third murder investigation being launched following this. This investigation saw the arrests of 5 people who had a connection to the shooting. However, since these arrests were made, no one has actually been found guilty, with a trial being yet to take place. The motive for the shooting of Reeks was actually an internal dispute within the 37 gang, with it being alleged that Reeks had stolen cash and other things from fellow 37 members who would seek revenge.
And this the same place here Psycho done his video.
The reason I included the death of Reeks within this video is the fact that Siraq members are often seen dissing him, just due to Reeks being affiliated with 150 members and beefing Siraq. Rest in peace, Reeks. All of these incidents between Siraq and 150 would result in surrounding gangs also getting involved in the beef. An example of this would be an LTH member known as G41, who upon getting released from prison would post on Snapchat writing, "Man come home to bear new packs. Skeng Roy, Smalls and Reeks. For f***'s sakes we smoking on the hill." This just shows how deadly the beef has become.
Man said he'd come home and you tweeted that straight away or posted that up straight away. This guy's a menace.
However, since the death of Reeks, no other major incidents have occurred, with many shootings and stabbings occurring in the streets, but not really being reported in the news. If you learned anything from this video, make sure it's to stay far away from the roads, as this life really isn't worth it. A lot of these people don't even know why they are beefing each other, but they believe they have to all for a postcode that they do not own. Rest in peace, everyone in this video.
No, I hate when people say that. And niggas don't beef over the postcode, you know. Like, it's not about the postcode. It's like, example, we all go to school in, I would say Peckham. We all go to school in Peckham, yeah. Oh, we all go primary school in Peckham. We're friends. We build up the brotherly bond. Now we're in secondary school. We're brothers now. Example, them I go to school in Brixton, yeah. They do the vice versa thing, same thing. And now they're both like both sides are talking to girls. They start to talk to each other's girls, but they don't know about each other anyway. And even if they do know about each other, who cares, bro? I don't know you. You're not my friend. And now it's like, and niggas can't take a violation. So the violation could turn from a fist fight into a stab up. And now, say somebody stabbed my friend type setting, I'm not gonna let that slide because you're my brother, bro. Like, are you crazy? So now I'm riding on you, no homo, vice versa, and that's how it starts. And now it's just like a name's put to it, and now everyone classifies it as a gang. But they're not banging for the postcode. Nobody cares about their postcode. Nobody cares about their block. Like, it's just a violation of, you think you can come here and run their ends, or you think you can come here and like rub my friends type thing. Because there's always a bad egg, but it stems from somewhere, bro. Like, whether you believe it or not, bro, that's just the truth of it, innit? But listen, RP everyone that was lost, and bro, Brixton's just a crazy place, bro. Like, Brixton's going to go into like history of England forever, bro.
Back out, slap it out, short but I bang it, pack it out. Man just ping it or ching it. If I ain't did it, I still bring back it out. Kyle's probably hit squad baby, hit squad crazy, rip man's